talk about that. We have a full preview of tonight's game at home against the Boston Bruins, and we have our weekly farm report and a lot more coming up on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast.
Your Locked On Islanders, your daily podcast on the New York Islanders. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody. Welcome to the Thursday edition of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Hope everybody is doing well. And thank you for making Locked On Islanders your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. Also includes YouTube, so check us out over there. And please subscribe so you can watch anytime you want. Lots to talk about today on the show. Islanders, Barry Trotz making the announcement that right now, Ilya Sarokan is going to be the Islanders' starting goalie. So what is that going to mean going forward for this team? And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some of the implications of it as we move forward. We also have our weekly farm report, our Islanders birthday of the day, and a full preview of tonight's game at home against the Boston Bruins. So a packed show for you today. If you've got something Islanders related on your mind, if you have a question, a comment about something we talked about, or a topic you'd like us to discuss on the show, feel free to email us. We are at lockedonislanders@gmail.com. And if you leave your first name and where you're from, we are happy to mention you on the show when we talk about whatever subject that you want to talk about. You can also follow the show on Twitter at LockedOnIsles, and you can follow me, Gil Martin, on Twitter at Ice Wars, NYR VSNYI, and we'll keep you up to date on all the latest Islanders news, notes, and happenings. Plus, I am live tweeting during nearly every Islanders home and road game. So always great to interact with fans during the games and talk a little Islanders hockey, or really any time. So please do stop by Ice Wars NYR VSNYI, and we can get to it and talk a little Islanders. Let's get started with the announcement that Ilya Sarokan is now going to get the bulk of the work. And like we discussed on yesterday's show, Sarokan deserves the majority of the work as of right now. He has won, Islanders have won 7 games this season. Sarokan has won all 7. Varlamov didn't have a training camp. He was injured. Realistically, still not, he's playing okay, but not playing up to his highest level yet. And Sarokan has been playing exceptionally well. But what does this mean? Something to keep in the back of your mind. It's a little premature, but not a lot. If the Islanders continue to struggle, if by the end of this month they're still not on some kind of a streak where they're back into the thick of the playoff race, maybe, just maybe, the Islanders would be sellers at the trade deadline. And I don't mean sellers like rip the whole foundation of the team down and start all over again. No, this team is too good under normal circumstances for that. But take a veteran like Semyon Varlamov, trade him at or before the trade deadline, saves you about $5 million in cap space. You're not going to win this year anyway. Again, not there yet, but maybe we get there. And then Sarokan becomes your number one goalie going forward, whether Jakob Skarek or Corey, or you bring in another goalie at some point for next year who costs a lot less than the $5 million that you're spending on Varlamov. You get a pick, you get a goal scorer, you get a prospect, not all of them, but probably one or two of those things. Maybe that is one thing that the Islanders can sort of keep in the back of their minds moving forward. I want to know what you all think about that. So again, email the show, lockedonislanders@gmail.com, and let me know. Again, I'm not saying do this now, But if the team continues to struggle and they're not going to make the playoffs this year, maybe, January, February, at the trade deadline, maybe that's the time you think about making that kind of a move, knowing that your goaltending is in good hands with Ilya Sarokan. So something to think about, just putting it out there, not saying it's going to happen right away, but it might be something that helps all concerned over the long run. Wanted to do our weekly farm report right now. And the farm report, the Bridgeport Islanders, as we talk all things Bridgeport, they have been sort of in a win one, lose one kind of a situation. And you look back and, over the weekend, 2 home games, 1 win, 1 loss. And the red-hot player right now, Chris Terry, who has a 7-game point streak, Austin Czarnik, who we talked about yesterday, Otto Koivula, these who are really helping the Bridgeport Islanders play very, very well. Terry now tied for 9th in the AHL scoring race, and that is definitely a big thing. On last Saturday, the Bridgeport Islanders, 5 goals. They beat the Toronto Marlies 5-4, and 2 goals for Otto Koivula. Austin Czarnik, 3 points in that game for the 2nd straight time. And the Islanders scored 4 of the final 5 goals in the game. They were down 3-1, managed to tie it up. And, 2 helpers from Mitch Vandesample. Corey Schneider, 22 saves. That's his 3rd straight win. And the Islanders skate away with the W. But on Sunday, they faced the Belleville Senators, also a home game, and they end up falling in that one by a score of 3-2. Koivula scored again. Grant Hutton also with a goal. But here's the thing, Bridgeport, they let up a goal just 33 seconds into the game, and that is a problem. They managed to score the next 2, entered the 3rd period with a 2-1 lead, and then watched it fall apart with 2 third-period goals. Jakub Skarek, 29 saves. He's now 5-6-2 on the season. Bridgeport playing the Providence Bruins now as I record this episode. So that's a game that was originally supposed to take place on December 4th, but COVID protocol made them reschedule that one, and so that is the situation. This weekend, 2 road games as the Bridgeport Islanders have a 3-game road trip. Saturday at 6 o'clock, they will be at the Charlotte Checkers. Sunday, a 1 o'clock matinee, also at Charlotte. And then next Wednesday, December 22nd, they will go to Hartford to take on the Wolfpack as the Islanders and Rangers farm clubs meet. And that should be a very, very good matchup. So lots going on in Bridgeport right now. And hopefully, the Bridgeport Islanders are sort of in the same boat, wins and losses wise, as the New York Islanders. Win 1, lose 1. Get, 2 points or 3 points in 3 games, 2 points in 2 games. And when you get off to a slow start, that's not good enough. So hopefully they'll turn things around, get a little bit more consistent. Certainly Bridgeport in a much better place than they were a year ago and 2 years ago. Progress being made, but more progress necessary. And let's hope this team continues to do it. Getting some better goaltending. Got to get the defense tightened up and a little more consistency throughout the lineup. Remember, we do our farm report usually on Wednesdays, and please make sure you join us then for all things Bridgeport. When we return, we will discuss tonight's game against the Boston Bruins at the UBS Arena. We'll have a full preview of that. We also have our Islanders' birthday, a lot more, so make sure you stay with us right here on the Locked On Islanders podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by Stat Hero. No one plays daily fantasy sports to lose. Winning feels so much better, but traditional fantasy sports are a long-term losing proposition because you never know who or what you're up against. But Stat Hero is the first of its kind daily fantasy sports platform where it's you against the house in a head-to-head fantasy matchup, winner take all. And here's the crazy part. Stat Hero shows you their lineups before you play, and you handpick the team you want to face one-on-one. This never-before-seen innovation of a fantasy sports and sports betting hybrid has Stat Hero players clocking odds that are over 4 times better. Why? Because you don't have to compete against thousands of experts or unknowns. Stat Hero puts you in control of your fate. With Stat Hero, you're in control of the stakes, too. You decide how much you're going to play for, and Stat Hero has no choice but to take it because they're daring you to beat them. Stat Hero head-to-head is what daily fantasy should be, one-on-one. Sign up for free right now at stathero.com/hockey. Use the promo code hockey for a 100% deposit match. That's stathero.com/hockey. Use promo code hockey for a 100% match. stathero.com/hockey. Promo code hockey. Terms and conditions apply. So tonight, the Islanders will be the Boston Bruins, a fairly. This is a big game because there's in playoffs, a team that the Islanders may have to pass to get playoff berth in the Eastern Conference. Right now, like the Islanders, Boston has played less than most of the teams around them, 25 to be exact. Boston 14-9-2, 30 points as of right now. And Boston, their game came on Tuesday when they lost to the Vegas Golden Knights at home by a score of 4-1. That is a 2-game winning streak for the Bruins. And now they are on the road. This game against the Islanders is the first of a 3-game road trip. And the thing about the Bruins, they're kind of like the Islanders. They struggle to score goals, 27th in the league in goals scored, but 3rd in the league in goals against. So their defense is indeed quite strong, and that more or less what makes them such a good team. The other thing is offensively, where do they get their goals? The power play. So the Islanders have to stay out of the box. They cannot take those foolish penalties that they took against Detroit and that they've taken so often during this early season struggle. Boston is 6th in the league with a 20 conversion rate. On the PK, they're just a smidge above the middle, 14th with an 81.1% kill. Jerry Raymond is the number 1 goalie, 2.29 goals against, a .917 save percentage, 1 shutout. He's 7-5-2. Linus Ullmark is the other goalie. He's 7-4-0, a .921 save percentage, and a .256 goals against average. And the leading scorer right now, Brad Marchand, 27 points in 21 games, 11 of them goals. Patrice Bergeron, 10 goals and 23 points. David Pastrnak, 8 goals and 21 points. Charlie Coyle, sort of a dark horse guy, moved up to 2nd-line center. He has 7 goals and 14 points on the year. The line combinations for the Bruins, and do a little bit juggling because it is COVID as of right now. So they juggled the line, and against Vegas, it was Patrice Bergeron centering Taylor Hall and David Pastrnak on the top line. As I mentioned, Charlie Coyle now the 2nd line pivot, and Nick Foligno flanked him, and that made for an interesting combination. Side of him, Trent Frederick. There's the fourth line, Anton Blythe and Curtis Lazar. Second pair on our Clay unit, Bergeron, Foligno, Nick with Matt and Taylor Hall. Point of the first unit, Frederick up front on the second unit, Rusk playing the point, and Grzelcyk as well. So those are the units. Swayman and Ullmark are the goalies. And right now, in addition to Marchand, Jacob Zboril is on the IR. Brandon Carlo and Craig Smith listed as day-to-day. So the lineups to see what the players will be available for Bruins. But as far as the Islanders, this is a home game. You know, they're still not going to have Barzal back. Assuming that Coyle is going rampant around the league right now, doesn't cancel this game. If the Bruins or Islanders don't have a breakout, if the Islanders still have roughly the same line, a few things. One of them stay out of the penalty box. On the net, I mean, now Oliver Wahlstrom and Anders Lee are doing that. We need still more Palmieri, Bailey, the usual suspects. The New York Islanders, if this team holds win, Boston is not. Islanders have their work out for them. But again, you know, you're playing at home. This is a team that you eliminated from the playoffs. They're need to get track this team and start putting some wins together, because you know, if they don't, I'll tell you, by the end of this month, if the Islanders don't even put together a few games, 2-3, you know, win 3 out of 4, go 4-1-1 in 6, do something where you get on a little bit of a streak. If they don't do that and do it soon, we have to start thinking about just saying that this is a bad team, not that this team needs to be rebuilt, but that just circumstances, whether it's between injuries and COVID, this is going to be our year. Start thinking about what we have to do for next year. Again, we're not there yet, but the longer this happens, the longer this team goes without getting on track and putting some wins together, the closer we get to that point. We have got more to discuss on this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. We've got our Island birthday of the day and some final thoughts entering tonight's game. All that and more still to come on the Locked On Islanders podcast. This episode is brought to you by Primal Origin Oils. Got beard? Get Primal. You heard me right. Got beard? Get. If you or someone you care about has a beard, Primal. Maybe you're that guy who has never considered the benefits of treating your beard with product, but Primal Origin Oils will stop the itch, make your beard look healthy, and the products are free from harmful synthetic ingredients and with low impact on our planet. So Primal Origin Oils, they make balms, oils, and whipped butter that are renowned as the best feel in beard products available. All products are fair trade certified and handcrafted in the USA. And the combo kits make a great holiday gift. And if you're shopping for yourself, you'll be glad you did. We know that every company claims to have the best, but Primal Origin Oils challenges you to compare their ingredients and the feel in beard to other products you've used. We promise you, you will see and feel the difference. Remember, the code LOCKEDON gets you 20% off at primaloriginoils.com. Use the code LOCKEDON for 20% off at checkout. primaloriginoils.com. Time now for our Islanders birthday of the day. And this one, I'll tell you, not a guy who maybe is very well known, but a guy who played for the Islanders for one season. Happy birthday. And one is a couple of days late. But Corey Conacher, now 32 years old. the Burlington, Ontario native, undrafted, only 5'8", $185, had 4 strong seasons at Canisius College, and then made his NHL debut with the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2012, 2013. Later that year went to Ottawa, a year later Buffalo, and then in 2014, 2015, 15 games with the New York Islanders, 1 goal, 3 points, some time at Bridgeport and Utica as well. Then paid for the Lightning. And since then, since 2020, 2021, he has played in Switzerland. And right now he's still playing for Bern SC in the Swiss Hockey League. In 29 games this year, 11 goals, 17 points. So he is putting the puck in the net in Switzerland. In the NHL, 193 games, 28 goals, 75 points. You add 10 playoff games, and he has 3 goals in those playoff contests. And no, they did not come with the New York Islanders. He was a member of the Tampa Bay Lightning for those. We are going to go back and look at Corey Conacher's best game at the Islanders 2014 at the Nassau Coliseum. The Carolina Hurricanes are the visiting team. This one, it was the Isles getting on Nathan Gerby in the penalty box for slashing. John Tavares got his first of the year on the power play. Brock Nelson and Johnny Boychuk with the assists at .350. But with Travis Hamonic in the box for hooking, the Hurricanes answer with a power play goal of their own. Yuri Tlusty, his first from John Michael Lyles, and Alexander Seaman were even at 1-1. But just 31 seconds after the Tlusty goal, day of the day, Corey Conacher gets his first of the year, his only goal as an Islander. John Tavares and Kyle Oposo with the assists. Islanders up 2-1, but in the closing seconds, Tlusty gets his second power play goal of the game. Matt Martin off for tripping. Eric Stahl and Alexander Semin with the assists at 1943. 2-2 after the first period. The Islanders get 2 goals in the second period. Again, the power play gets to work, and with Semin in the box, and Brock Nelson is third from Boychuk and Oposo at 6:47. And then with less than 5 seconds left in the period, Josh Bailey, his first from Franz Nielsen and Nikolai Kulemin. That's at 19:56. Islanders up 4-2 after 2 periods. Tlusty completes the hat trick with an unassisted goal at 14:01 of the third period. And that was all she wrote. The Islanders closed the door. Chad Johnson making 21 saves. But for our Islanders' birthday of the day, Corey Conacher, 1 goal at even strength. He had 2 shots on goal. And that was his only goal as a member of the New York Islanders. Happy 32nd birthday, Conacher, as he's here in Switzerland. Game for the Islanders, they've got to start winning, hopefully get that much done, and we'll see what happens. Don't forget, email us with your thoughts on the possibility of trading Semyon Varlamov if this struggle get closer to the trade deadline. I think it would, if we find ourselves in a position, and that's something that Lou Lamoriello has to. This team needs a puck-moving defenseman. They need more goal scoring, and they're going to need it not just for this year, but for next year. Is Zach Parise going to be back? Is Zdeno Chara back? A lot of questions there. Probably no is the answer to both of those. Got to get some reinforcements. Got to get another puck-moving defenseman. Saving some cap space and trading away the goalie might be one. I love Varley. I'd love for him to stay, but in the world of salary cap hockey, that may be one move that the Islanders have to make. And at the trade deadline, they may just be able to get their biggest haul. It's either the draft next year. So again, Locked On gmail.com. Love to your thoughts. Love to hear from our listener. That is going to do it for this episode of the Locked On Islanders podcast. Thank you for making Locked On Islanders day. Right now, it's a second Locked On Bets. It is your one-stop shop for all gambling needs, hosted by your boy Ken. Expert analysis, Sterling. It's free and available on all platforms. Have a great day, everybody. Stay safe. We'll be back tomorrow with a full wrap of tonight's game against Boston and a full preview of all this weekend's contests. Have a great day. Stay safe. And of course, let's go Islanders.